Today we are continuing on the Granny Squares quilt. This is our first quilt block from the Granny Squares quilt. So thank you for joining me here tonight. My name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make cute embroidery kits for the beginning crafter. And I'm here every weeknight at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. That's 9:30 Eastern and 6:30 Pacific Time. It's a time that we can relax and craft together, and I'm here for about an hour, and I work on projects from beginning to end. We're actually working on 4 different projects. We've picked one project per week. This week is the continuation of the Granny Squares quilt. So again, this is our first block. From there, here is the pattern by Lissa Alexander right here for American Patchwork and Quilting. It's on the All People Quilt post, and I put a link to it below here as well if you would like the pattern. But I'm so pleased with how it's coming along. So again, this is the first block. We are just about done sewing together our second block. So once I flip you around, we'll take a look at that. We'll get that done pretty quickly here, I think. We'll trim it so it's a nice square, and then we'll get going on block number 3. I'm just so excited. I'm picking the pieces randomly from a bag, so it's all ending up, they're all going to end up different. We picked our colors beforehand, so the colors should be consistent. It should have the same feel, but the actual placement of all the colors is what's going to be randomized, and I'm just really liking that process. All right, let's get started. All right, so like right here are all my bags. Each one of these is a strip of a different size. And here is our block number 2. We are almost done with it. So here's block 1 again. So look how different they are. This one's got a lot more darks. It's almost like an ombre going from dark to light in the middle. I'm excited to see what this looks like. So obviously it's much bigger than what we got going on here yet, and that's because we have our pieces aren't sewn together yet here. And you can see it's at a weird angle. We're actually working on it as a diamond, and then we're rotating it and trimming it down, and then that's when it looks like a square. So we're actually working on it like this. And then we rotate it that way again, and then trim down all the extra little bumpy edges there. Oh, Gretchen, good. I'm glad you figured that out. Gretchen says that she figured out what she was doing wrong. She did a random measurement of strips, and some were not cut well. So yeah, all these strips that we started out with are a different lengths. Okay. So now we kind of treat this just like a 9 patch. We have 9 pieces here, so we're gonna sew these into rows. So all these pieces. So this will end up being kind of a row. This will end up being a row, and this will end up being a row. And then we'll take it off of the machine, and then we will sew the 3 rows together, and that will be it for the sewing. Then we just rotate it, cut off the edges, and we're done. So let's get that going tonight. So I'm going to sew the first 2 columns of each row here. So I'm going to sew these 2, then these 2, then these 2. Then I'll take that off the machine and sew that, and then that, and then that. And that's just so we can keep chain piecing, so we can keep sewing without having to take anything off of the machine, because that wastes time. So let's get down to the machine here. You guys, I am almost out of my spool of Aurifil floss, so we may have to break out another spool coming up here. Okay, so I have a couple clips out here. I might actually grab a few more because I am nesting the seams together. That's when those folds, you bump them right up against each other. You can actually feel when they're right against each other. And that will help us get really nice lined up points on this. So I think, let's see, how many more do we have? 2 more. Let's get 2 more clips out here. Oh, Bethany's sewing more masks tonight. That's amazing. Sylvia turned in 27 masks today. Terry's making masks for her grandsons. Wow. You guys are all just super amazing. That's just awesome. We're lucky. We're the lucky ones that we can sew them up. So not everyone can sew all those up, and so they are very lucky to have you guys. What's neat though is that a lot of people are starting to learn how to sew because of this. My brother learned how to sew over the summer. He made his first quilt, and I think he's made over 200 masks or so already. He's gone through 3 bolts of fabric. We're gonna actually, I gotta gather it up together, but we're gonna actually send him some more fabric as well. I can see the spool on my thread. It's getting down there. Oh, Patty, I'm glad you were able to watch the replay last night. All right, and last up. So again, I'm just, for the sake of having those nice points, I am clipping a little bit more than I've been. But I like that. I like nesting those seams together and clipping them, because I probably didn't sew all these all the best, so I need to kind of ease them one way or the other. Oh, Joanne's was donating to quilting groups. Oh, that's cool. How many yards to a bolt? That can vary for manufacturer, but I would say between 8 and 15 yards for a bolt. I was just buying some fabric on Joann's, and they had both. I bought 8-yard bolts and some 15-yard bolts. They're actually out of a lot of it, so I'm not going to get some of the fabric I wanted. I'm going to give my brother all the solids I have laying around, because I don't have much fabric on the bolt anymore. I used to have tons and tons of fabric on the bolt here at home, but I don't have so much anymore. And what I do, I've taken off the bolt, but I do have a lot of, I do still have like a lot of yardage of some, but it's all the colored stuff. So or the solid. So I'm going to give him some of that. All right, you guys. Well, I started out with some really good points there, but then they got worse and worse as I went down, but still not too shabby. I'm perfectly fine with those. So this was that first column. This was the first piece and that second piece. Now I'm going to grab from column 3. So this is kind of the other half of it. Whoop. Dropping it on the floor almost. All right, so I'm going to butt these up together as well. These seams right there with those folds. I'm going to get those right next to each other, nesting them together. I need to get on making some more masks as well. So I'm hoping to actually try a few different styles of masks again. The masks that I did that YouTube video for, those are great for like the hospital workers and stuff, because I think they can fit over their other masks okay. And but I'd like to make some like custom sized masks, Because John and I have different size faces, and I think he needs a little bit bigger one. Okay, row. So I've not done batting in mine. I just do basically cotton on both sides. I think there was an article that's been kind of floating around, I think from the New York Times, that one of the best fabrics for home sewn masks is quilting weight fabric. So what we've been using here, because quilting weight fabric is typically like a high quality fabric with a really tight weave to it, and so that apparently is pretty good. All right. Last one, and then we can press these, and then we'll sew our rows together. Oh, you made a 10x7 for the men in the family, and that has worked great. Okay, Bethany, I think that sounds perfect. So the size that we were making was, basically an end size of 9 inches, wide by 6 inches, or long, and then 6 inches kind of wide or tall. And yeah, that size seemed a little small for him. So doing it 10, so adding an inch both directions, I think that sounds like it'd probably be just about perfect. And then with a kid's mask, I think you can just subtract an inch or two from either side, and you get a good side. So like instead of 9x6, do like 7x5 or something. All right, I got to get a leader here because we are actually done sewing there. You know what I could do? Let's do this. Okay, I'm getting dangerous here. So instead of getting one of my little leaders, one of these guys to sew on here, I think I'm going to just grab the next block. Let's just start grabbing from the next block here. So I'm going to grab my first strip. I always end up with the, that teal is my first strip always. And then, all right, you guys, yeah, we're playing dangerous here. We are putting two different parts of a block together. So, all right, I have my 35-inch strips. So let's grab one of those. We're getting daring after 3 nights of doing this. All right, so my eyes are closed. I'm just gonna grab one here, and this one is it. Ooh, those are pretty together. This teal and this pretty dotted blue. Okay, so we just need to sew these all the way down. Uh-oh, this might make me run out of the thread though. So we'll have a slightly different color in this block, but oh well. Yeah, so instead of using a leader, we're making it work for us. We're making these extra stitches work for us by moving on ahead. So I'm not using any pins or anything for this. I'm just kind of going down the edge and lining it up, and then just having my finger there to do that. Oh, Gretchen says she's in love with doing this block. I am just really, really, really having fun with it too. Sylvia playing chicken with the thread. I know usually I'm playing thread chicken with the bobbin. I might be doing that too and not know it, but we're definitely playing with the top right now. Yeah, we might get to squeeze a little bit more out of it. All right, I got the end here. All right, so now I'm going to just keep that strip on the on the machine, and we will cut off my first block now. So we'll just let that lay. Oh, that's a problem. You're right, Catherine. What do I do about that? Oh, I could do two. Oh, okay. So, I could get real dangerous here now. So, we actually, we got to do this block yet. But for the next block, we have to actually take this off of the machine and chop our 7 inches off of it. And then we sew the next strip on. So I actually do have to take it off of the machine unless I work on 2 blocks at once, which could get real dangerous. We are like exponentially getting more dangerous here, but we could do it. I could get 2 blocks going here at once. And you know what? I think we're going to go for it. So first off, let's finish up this one. I mean, we do have this one that we're sewing yet, so this will help take that strip off, but ultimately we could get a couple going here at once. And I might just be sounding like gibberish right now, but it's all going to come together, and you'll see what I'm talking about. It's all the idea of not having to take something off of the sewing machine to sew the next piece onto it. These little squirrels are so funny. All right, so here's what we're looking like. So now, we got to press. Let's see. How did we press it last time? Okay, so it looks like we pressed, that makes sense. So we pressed this part in, and then we pressed these parts out, because then we can nest this seam together a little bit. So I'm going to just let the iron heat up for a moment. All right. Actually, while that's heating up, we could start sewing that first piece. Oh, that's maybe too dangerous. Let's just this is probably warm enough for this middle piece. Oh yeah, that's fine. That cordless iron there, that base that it's in, heats up really quickly. I just turned it on now. This is bigger than my mat. I need one of those big mats. I got the smaller one just because I'm working in a pretty small space here, but, every once in a while. All right, so that one's pressed. All this pressing, I forget about. That is part of the job. All right, now these ones I'm kind of going outward. So I'm just kind of getting it started. I'm not even really pressing. There we go. I just want kind of to start outward, and then I'm going to flip it over. And now I'm going to see how it's all kind of like a really big fold there. I don't want that, so I'm going to kind of pull on it a little bit as I go. But I needed it started in the right direction. You almost do kind of have to go to each little square and give it a little tug. All right, that's looking good there. Ugh, it's so pretty. I like this block. All right, yeah, we're going to do like 3 different tasks at one. We'll be sewing this. We will be, sewing that strip. We'll be starting another strip, and then we'll be trimming this block while those things are being sewn. We are combining it all together. Maybe not the best idea, but feeling daring tonight, I guess. Can't ruin it too much, I figure. This is what happens when, Gloria says, this is what happens when a quilter is quarantined, living dangerously via your sewing machine. All right. So there, now our pressed in. This is out. In. That should help us. So it should help us match the area. All right, let's do this middle onto the top. And so I'm going to try and match up all of these seams. So I might even get more of those clips out. we'll see how we do. And actually, I think I might flip it this way as well, so the big piece is on the bottom. Just seems like it might be easier to start sewing that way. Oh, you guys are frozen. Oh no. I'm not getting a warning here, so hopefully it clears up, but it does seem like it's a lot of you guys. I know we had some issues last night. It just conked out, so I don't know. I'll keep going for a little. Let me know if it keeps going. And then I will, well, if you can still hear me, I'm just clipping these together. But if it stays frozen for a while, I'll restart this. Get some more clips. Oh, it's trying to come back. I might close down and come back in. So I will, oh wait, okay, let me know if it's working now. It just said that the connection is going back up. So I don't know if you guys can hear me, but let me know if it's working now. It just went green again, so. Okay, you're back, Dee Dee, you're back, Paula, I'm there a little bit. Okay. Phew, all right, you guys. Well, I'm glad it's working again, and I'm no farther along than where it started to go out. Oh yeah, Kathy, last night I had to actually start a whole new feed because my phone it just completely kind of conked out, like just the whole app just went away. All right, there, so I have tons of clips in here. So that's all you missed. You missed me clipping. And this is overkill. I mean, I could kind of feel where these folds are. But, you know, trying to get these to match up as good as well as I can. And it's not too much extra time. And it's a good sense of security a little bit. I just don't have to worry about stopping and trying to match them up. I can just sew. Oh, Gloria, it's still frozen for you. Okay, it seems like other people's are starting to work up again. Well, my brother recommended a better computer for me, so hopefully I'll be able to get that at some point. All right, so right now I think I'm going to start that second strip. So I could cut off this strip and start doing the 7-inch trimming, but I think I'm going to start a whole new strip just to have those two going at once. So, all right, I have my outer color. That doesn't change. And then it's this next color. That's what changes. So I'm going to close my eyes again and just pick one. They're all kind of stuck together. What's this one here? I can't grab it. Here. I opened my eyes just so I could pull. All right, let's do this one. Haven't had this one yet. That's a fun one. All right. we're actually doing 3 blocks all at once now. So in theory, you probably could do every single one of your blocks all at once. You could sew all of these strips, trim them all, sew all the next strips. But I want to see them faster, so I am going to go through with all of them. Or with, you know, just these 2 versus doing all of them all at once. Oh, I still have thread on the machine too. I thought maybe we ran out here. Oh, what's my my machine is a I think it's a 1938 or 1942. I gotta look it up again. But it's a Kenmore sewing machine. Oh yeah, I don't remember exactly how much background fabric there is. All right, there we are. So now I can cut off that first strip, and we will trim that down to the 7 inches, or trim that 7 inches off, but I also want to finish this guy up first. All right, so one more seam for this block, and then we're all done. I'll pause on these strips when I'm done sewing this, and we will trim off. We will press this and then trim off the extra little triangle bits that'll be on the edge. So we'll have 2 like really nice looking finished blocks and 2 started. So the trick, clearly, is going to be organization coming up here. If I'm doing several strips, several blocks all at once, I'm going to have to somehow manage blocks. So I'll have to like, something ain't right there. Oh, I didn't stagger it. Start over. I'm like, my middle part didn't meet up. Let's maybe start there. Scooch it over. Good thing I have that bright pink in the middle. Otherwise, this one would have been sewn on like 1 off. There we go. Now we should be right. Yeah, I had it up all the way to the edge and not down a row. I'm going to do like every other one. I'll get these ones here because that one I really want to match up. Oh, I love the sound of this sewing machine. It's just like a lawnmower. I mean, it just feels like it's doing its job. It's working hard. So all of my seams did end up being nested. So pressing them in opposite directions like we did on the last block, that yesterday, I mean, that worked super well. All of my seams have matched up this entire time. So that's going to be our plan going out here. Oh, I just got an idea. We could actually keep just chopping off the 7-inch pieces from here and then sew the next piece on and then chop off the next 7-inch and sew the next piece on and then just press them all later and cut them all later. I might do that just so I can keep sewing here. Then we'll just basically have a day of assembly. Really getting out of order then. But that might be a fun way of doing it. So if you're just coming on to this project, I would definitely kind of watch my first, or like this week's, because I really am gonna start scrambling this all together. Scrambling the instructions together, so it might just look more and more awkward, but now that we've done a couple, I think I have some just shortcuts and just want to play around a little bit. All right, so actually I'm gonna need to get this off the machine. If we're playing our little game of I have to sew something to get it off, I have to do the next part of the project here. So, and I think I am gonna just kerchunk pieces off of here. So let's clean up our space a little bit, I think. Oh, I'm gonna need the ruler here. And pressing mat needs to go away. Okay, so we have 2 pieces here. I'm gonna try and keep all of this block over here and this block kind of over here, although I'll have to move it to finish up this one. I have to cut the 7 inches off first because, I mean, I suppose I could keep sewing the strips on and then cut them off, but I think maybe my strip is maybe a little too long. I mean, I suppose I could do that. Keep sewing the shorter and shorter strips on. Maybe we just do that. Let's totally avoid cutting at all right now. Hopefully that'll work. I'll sew on one more, and if it works, then we'll keep going like that, and then just have like this weird staggered thing and chunk it all off at the end. I kind of like that idea. I like it a lot, actually. Let's do it. Okay, next up is a 28-inch, and I'm gonna just pull one for each of my strips right away. All right, so eyes closed. All right. Okay, so this one will be with this strip, and since we're doing a couple, and this guy will be with this strip. Yeah, it'll just be like a big triangle. So that's totally what I'm doing. We're going that route. And I think I'll just sew both of these right away and then trim that guy off. Okay, so if you haven't caught on what I'm doing here, so I'm gonna start sewing on the same end every single time. So I should have a nice straight row here. So like this one will go on here, and I'm not pressing or anything. So I'm gonna sew. But since this strip is shorter, it's gonna end right here, and this long strip is gonna keep going, right? So then I'm going to do that again. So the next strip will end here, the next strip will end here, the next strip will end here. And then when I'm done, I can just cut off the 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces I need here, then just trim straight on the next piece, then cut my 4 pieces off there, trim it to the next piece, cut my 4 pieces off there, and there, and there. So I think I like it. It lets me sew longer tonight. and I'm feeling the sewing. So tomorrow we will have a whole pile of cutting and pressing, which, you know, maybe makes tomorrow not so fun, but it also will allow us to see how it develops a whole lot quicker. All right, don't confuse an already confused person. I think it'll make sense. Once you start seeing it come together, I think it will make sense. And hopefully it works. Right now it's theoretical. But I think it's gonna work. So we're doing the same process, really. We're just grouping tasks. So I'm grouping the sewing part and grouping the cutting part. I think it'll work. At worst, we may have to pick out a few stitches if one of these is a little long. I think it's gonna work. So I am going to press it. Oh, maybe I think I'm gonna still cut off the 7 inches because I do want them pressed in different directions still. But this will it'll still let us sew for a little bit here. All right, see, and that just goes to there. And then I think I'm just gonna come off of it a little bit with a stitch or two. I know we have extra. This is more than 7 inches. We actually only need 6 inches to finish the piece. So if I have a couple extra stitches there, it's not gonna matter. And now I'm gonna sew this one on before it gets loose on me. All right, I'm never sewing on the teal piece. I'm always sewing on all the piece that's not the teal piece. Yes, so Pat says, will your seams be pressed in the same direction? So that's why I'm gonna cut them. I'm gonna cut that 7 inches off first, once we get to the cutting stage of this, and then I will still press them in opposite directions, and then I'll do that 1 inch or the 1.5 inch trimming on. But we can do all that. We can do the pressing for a couple blocks all at once, I think. Ooh, is that getting tighter or weird? No, I think we're fine. This is that color of the year color. All right, so after this, after I'm done sewing this strip, I'm going to finish up our first block, like the whole reason we're here, right? I still have thread on that machine, that's crazy. All right, and I'll just kind of veer off like that, and we'll get ready for that in a bit. But first things first, we have a block that's hanging out at the end here. So let's press this and let these strips just hang out for a little bit. All right. So did it say the direction to press? Probably just, oh yeah, outward, because we're kind of mimicking these shapes. So I'm gonna kind of lay it out and just get it kind of started, getting those seams wanting to go in that outward kind of direction. Oops, and I sewed that one a little funny. It got flipped there. All right, now I'm gonna flip it around and we'll kind of stretch and press. Hopefully that's working. Cute. All right, we are almost done here. We do have to trim it yet. I'm just trying to get it a little better ironed, I think. Oh, but there. So I just turned it to that square. So we've been working on it in a diamond. So it's always just kind of fun when you rotate it to that square, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, it's looking like that granny square now. It just kind of morphs. All right, I think that's looking pretty flat. So now we're gonna cut it down to that 9 inches. And really what that 9 inches is, I'm gonna get my square ruler out. If I can find it. All right, so that 9 inches is actually just trimming off all these little triangles. So all these little marks here, like where it goes in and out, all those corner points, if you just cut it there all the way around, you're gonna get your 9 inches. But I'm gonna measure. So let's get a little up higher here so you guys can see. Okay. So to start off, I'm gonna kind of start by lining up these edges, like how I just said, on all those points. Same with at the top here. And I'm just gonna kind of make sure that that's where the 9 inches line up. Oh, so no, it's not right at the inner point. It's where this fold where it folds over here. So these points, like boop, boop, that point right there. So that's where I need to aim. It looks like. Okay. Yeah, now the 9 inches is a bit closer to that. It's a hair to the inside. Here's the 9 inches, a little higher. Trying to get this to be as accurate as I can get it. Scooch it over this way a hair. All right, wow, I feel like I'm being super picky here, but I think that looks good. All right, I'm gonna get my cutting glove on so I don't accidentally chop my hand off. Ooh, this is a weird angle to cut. Not ideal. Okay, so there's our little triangles. Don't need any of those anymore. And then I'm gonna just rotate that around, and now I'm gonna line up the 9 inches, and it should land, you know, at those same points. Ooh, I must have veered a little bit. I'm not completely straight here. But good enough. Should have maybe read that this is for sure 9 inches. I'm going on memory. Yep, okay. That's 9 inches. All right. I have to hold my breath doing that. Okay, it's coming together. All right, there's block number 2, all cleaned up, all looking good. See what it looks like next to block 1. Ah, they're just so pretty. And again, we will have a little strip. Just grabbed a bunch. We'll have a strip of this teal in the middle, so it'll actually be kind of probably that far apart or so. And then same with this way. Oh, I'm just excited about how different they look. I mean, obviously, clearly they are from the same quilt. We got the same feel going on for sure. But they do look so different. So every single block is going to have a different look and feel. And that's kind of what's going to get revealed as we go along here. So I'm loving it. So the only thing that we're keeping consistent is that teal on the outside. That's our main color. And then I'm always getting this little red square for the inside. So each one will have that little pinky red and that teal. And that teal, like I said, is going to be the sashing and the border. Oh, actually, we have a special border, but it's going to feel like it's the main color is that teal. All right, 2 done, and we are working on 2 at the same time over here. So, all right, so I can snip this off now. And we actually need 2 of the next size down. So we were at 28 before, now we're at 21 inches. So I'm going to close my eyes again and pick 2 more fabrics here. If it's the exact same, or if it's really close, like if it's the same fabric was like one earlier, I'm gonna pick a new one. But all right, this is the one that came out. Ooh, now these are 2. Oh, that is the same. Oh, well, I can't choose that one. Let's do it again. I'm picking for this one first, and then I'll pick for that one. I mean, there are a lot of repeats in here. All right, there we go. But I don't want to put the same one next to each other. So this is another very light one. We'll see how that goes. Oh, it's actually 2 pieces. I'm going to choose separately, though. If it ends up being the same piece for that one, that's fine, but the act of picking I'm going to do separately. So, all right, so this one will go here. That'll be kind of interesting. Looks very similar. Now that I normally wouldn't put next to each other, but we're trying to be random and I want to kind of see what happens here. All right, I'm just kind of trying to feel around. My eyes are closed still. Oh, well, I picked the exact same one. Let's go for it. That is okay if that happens. All right, so that one's on deck. Let's sew this one first. Oh, you could totally do quilt as you go for this project. So there is a pretty fancy border that I want to give a try. So I don't know how that would affect that. I don't know. I think I'm going to just not think about that. That seems like too much for my brain right now. We're doing quilt as you go for the Splendid Sampler one too. We could actually do some of that again. Do some of the quilting again. All right, this is gonna be fun. We're just gonna sew for a little here. We got 10 minutes left. We might actually get to sew the rest of these pieces on. That'd be cool if we're quick about it. Like I said, I am probably gonna have to switch my thread soon here. Okay, so that's that first grouping. Now that released the second one from the machine, so I can snip that. Our game we're playing again tonight, you guys, is that we are trying to keep sewing where I don't have to take anything off of the machine. Like I don't have to just stop and take this off and put another one on this one and have to take something off of the machine. I'm trying to just keep sewing whatever the next thing is so I can just always have something on the machine. It's kind of a time and energy saver. Even though I am having to keep track of things a bit much. So yeah, so if you guys are just coming in and this is all looking confusing and crazy, you're not alone. It is confusing and crazy for me right now. We are trying to do 2 blocks at once, and we kind of rearranged the instructions and the order of doing things. So we're just basically running an experiment tonight on how confused I can make myself. All right, done with that strip. Let's get the next colors. So, all right, next up, that was the 21 inch. So, ooh, just 2 more. So we have the 14, wait, let's see, 35, 28, 21. 35, 28, 21. Yep, okay, now we're on 14. Let's cut this off of the quilt though first. Oh, Tara, that's amazing. That would be such a gorgeous, beautiful, wonderful surprise. All right, so our last one on both was this gray dot. So I'm gonna pick random again. Hopefully I don't get that gray dot. Okay. I think I need 2 hands in here. They're all like stuck together. All right. Oh, and of course, look, I picked the gray dot. Okay. I'm not picking 2 that are the same next to each other. Okay, what's this one? Oh, that's fun. All right, so we have this cute little animals. That will be next there. And what's next over on the other one here? What's this one? Okay, so we have the little penmanship paper. That's fine. We used that on this one, but we didn't use it on this one yet, I believe. Yep, it's on this one, not the other one. Okay, that one we're saving for later. This one we will get on. Oh, the green. Oh, yeah, there's some pretty greens in there yet, too. Oh, you know what? I think I might have some extra in each of these bins. So, yeah, as we get down to the end when there's hardly any strips left in each bag, maybe then we'll be a little bit more picky. Right now I am trying to keep it random, except for if I pick the exact same fabric, then I'm changing that up. Okay, no pressing on this quite yet. So it's funny, it's not really even until we start chopping these that we can start to see what this is going to look like. I've really no idea, or I don't really have a feel of what this is going to look like as a block yet. All right, cutting this strip off. All right, and we already picked the next color. There's a lot of white. There's a lot of white in both of these. This will be interesting. Different than the last block for sure. We had a lot of dark colors in that one. So I did choose a lot of whites in this. I mean, I could have done a whole like all sorts of blues and dark colors. But in the photos, in the like trend Pinterest photos that we did when we were choosing colors, we did kind of like a mood board. The photos I'd liked the best, they had a lot of white and then pops of these blues in. So that's why I do have kind of a lot of white fabrics. And I probably wouldn't normally choose all those, but we're going on that Pinterest kind of mood board and letting that determine some things. So that did have a lot of that white. So we went with it. All right, you guys, 2 more colors to pick, and then we've kind of played this experiment out a little bit. So let's do the 7-inch strips. All right, what did we just choose here? Okay, it was this. So see what's happening? We have this kind of stair-steppy thing. That will make sense in a bit here. All right. Last one. Oh, there's a green. All right, so green at the end here for this. Very dark green. Stuck together, come on. All right, so that'll be that one. And for the second one, ooh, we got this kind of light tiger blue. That's kind of what we had in that position on the last block. So we can see how that's different. All right, save that one, and this gets sewn here. All right, I think we might have a little bit of time to start chopping these up. Might be getting a little ahead of myself. And actually, you know what? I'm like, but then how do we get it off the machine? I was thinking maybe we start the next block, but maybe not. We'll see. All right. All right, and this one, oh wow, this is all light colors. So this will be kind of the opposite of our last block. This one is all light colors, except for, you know, we got this pop of blue right in the middle. That's gonna be cool. It'll be like this really neat square of blue. Ooh, it's getting kind of bulky and odd in my lap here, so let's get this lined up a little better. I still have a little bit of thread left here. All right, and I think that's basically it for the sewing tonight. I think I might start trimming the one. But look, here is my little Poor little spool of thread. We still have a tiny little bit on there. All right. So just if you guys are working on this project and you're still not quite sure how I've adapted this, I'm going to show you right now. So I've sewed all of the strips together, but now I kind of need to cut them each in their kind of like 7-inch chunk. So that's what I'm going to do. Actually, you know what? I'm going to just kind of line it up. I need to cut 7 inches off, but all I really need is 6 inches. So what I'm going to do, and it doesn't need to be perfect at this stage either, I'm going to just kind of aim and cut right up the side there like that. And we should have plenty. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, plenty. So I'm going to just go up the edge on all of these. You can even leave that one there. And because of that 7-inch measurement, and we really only need 6 inches, I'm going to have plenty by doing this without pressing, without doing anything, and just aiming. I'm literally not even using a ruler, just going nope. And last one here. Cool, then we can just press these. Gosh, I kind of want to just keep going. Didn't we talk about that last night? This is a project that you just want to keep going on. All right, let's stack them up. Wow, so these strips are all ready for the next part. I'm going to just, we got a few minutes, like 2 minutes here yet. I'm going to press these. So we're pressing them in different directions, the even and the odds. So I'm going to press, we'll press, when it's an even number, we'll press away from the teal. And when it's an odd number, we'll press towards the teal. I think that's what we did last time. Oh, these two are pretty together. They're so close in value, but just the slightly different color and pattern, I think makes it look kind of pretty. All right, set you on this side. Okay, so now we're pressing towards the teal. So what we're trying to do is get all of our seam allowances going in different directions. Oh my gosh, I wonder if I can layer these and cut them all at once too. Ooh, I'm getting dangerous now. All right, people, we might even try and do that tonight yet. All right, so 4, we press away from the teal. Cutting all sorts of corners tonight. Okay, and next one. Towards the teal. I know, Catherine, I'm trying to get there. I know, we might go here like a few minutes over tonight because I want to see what it looks like cut up. Because at that point, we can kind of lay it all out. So we've like warp speeded ahead if we've done that. So I might try and just layer all these. It could be a disaster. I hope not. But it shouldn't be a disaster. Okay, and last one, we go away. Yep. So we needed to cut 4 1.5-inch pieces out of all of these. So we need to give them all a nice, good straight edge, and then I'll rotate them around and trim them those 1.5 inches. I'm trying to get them flat. I mean, they're strips, so I'm obviously kind of sewing and pressing a little wiggly, but when it's all done, I don't think it's gonna matter all that much. Okay, let's do it. All right. So, scooch all these bags out of the way. All right, so let's start by kind of lining these up a little bit. So I'm going to line all of the teal edges at the bottom here, just slightly over this edge, and then I'm going to rotate them all around and cut those 1.5 inches off. I think that will work. Getting dangerous. How many layers is this going to be too? This might be a lot for my rotary cutter to cut through, but we're going to make it work. So I'm going to actually lay this out. This will look like, Charlotte's like, you may still be working on it at midnight. This is totally the sort of project that you just kind of want to keep going, especially doing this weird system that we're doing here. Now, I wouldn't have to had layer them exactly like this. I could have just, scooched them all down the row, but too late now. I'm doing it this way. Hopefully I'm doing it this way. All right, so getting that first cut, just to square it up, basically. Yeah, I should have done that, Terry, staggering them a little bit. Hopefully this wasn't a dumb idea. All right. So now I'm just going to rotate the whole thing. Again, hopefully this works. All right, now we're doing the 1.5 inches. It is 1.5, isn't it? I think so. Ooh, kind of a lot at the end there. All right, now we just need to do that 3 more times. All right, we are super speeding this project, I think, tonight. I think I might be kind of veering them all. Oh, they're all still kind of lined up. I should have staggered them, but it's pretty all on top of each other like this. All right, and I only need one more, so the rest is all going to be scrap. So that's what I was saying. There's enough that we didn't have to be perfect on those first cuts because, there's this much scrap. All right, so that's all garbage. And now, all we need to do to kind of see what this is going to look like, let's even just do it on the board here. I need 4 of these. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And one of these. I think it's going to actually look a little bit odd tonight yet, but once we have these bits sewn together, the first round of sewing, it'll look okay. So let's see if we can manage this. Okay. Let's see if we can even make it look like a square. That might be asking a lot, but let's give it a go. So, all right, I'm going to, well, let's separate these. So they'll all kind of be off center like that. And this guy will be here, right? Yeah. Okay. I'm going to just super confuse myself, but I think we're going to get it. All right. 1. And obviously we don't have the seam allowances doing the right thing or anything here, so it's going to be a little oddball, but I think we'll get a little glimpse into this one. Oh, it's going to be so weird with that dark that dark green around it. We're gonna have this little green circle here. All right. This is a little mind bender. Oh, you know what? I'm missing a piece. This goes here. And this goes here. This goes here. Last little row. Last one. Oop. There we go. Little goofy, but there we go. So that will be one of the next ones. So that's interesting. So I do really like this kind of light border, this light blue, or this blue that's almost like this teal. And then, wow, that's like such a bold color in the middle there. There we go. Look how big it starts out with, and then it ends up being small. So fun, you guys. We cut that so quick. You know, now we got to sew it all together, so that'll take some time. But really, now we can do that. We can sew this one all together really while this one is sitting on the wayside. And then as we get to the end here, we can do the same thing with here. I think that's actually probably the best way to do it, because if I take all these strips off and then cut them all up like how I just did here, I'm going to have so many pieces everywhere. But to get this one off the machine, I could just start sewing this part together and then just keep sewing this until I'm just about done, until it was like tonight where I had to like sew a row, and to get it off I had to start something new. That's when I could take this one off and do it. So I like it. Yeah, I mean, look how different they are. I mean, this had all this dark on the outside, and now it's just so in the center there, whereas this one was all pretty, this one was kind of crisscrossy, like light, dark, light, dark, light, dark. So they're all really different so far. I'm loving it. So fun. Oh, I can't wait to see what this guy looks like, but we will focus on him tomorrow, and probably this guy, and start another one after that. All right, I'm going to flip you guys around. We'll call it an evening here. What do I call those round things you turn to make different designs? Oh, like a kaleidoscope? Yeah, oh gosh, it really does seem like a kaleidoscope. Oh yeah, especially, so we just need to make like a stop motion, so it goes shoo, and then shoo. It'll look like it is just like keeping on changing. Oh, this whole quilt is gonna be so cool together. I'm just over the moon that we're working on this project. They're all so pretty. They're gonna be all just so different too. Awesome, you guys. I'm loving it. I hope you guys are having fun sewing it too. I know I saw you guys starting to post them in the Penguin and Fish Crafters group, and they are all just so pretty. I know there's a big group waiting to get in to the Penguin and Fish Crafters group, which is awesome. I will start working on that tonight, letting you guys in. So thank you guys, and I will get this up on YouTube tonight as well. So have a great evening, and I will see you tomorrow. Good night.